Hello. Welcome to episode 21. You know, it's incredible to think that having a positive attitude can alter or affect your outcome with any illness, let alone something as serious as a stroke. It is so important for you to stay positive at this time. Some cancer doctors, for instance, say that having a positive attitude is the most important factor in recovery. WebMD.com says, and I quote, "When people in one study were exposed to the flu and common cold, those with a positive attitude were less likely to get sick and reported fewer symptoms." During another study, women who were more optimistic were less likely to die from cancer, heart disease, and stroke, respiratory disease, and infection. I don't want to list all the things I've read. But anyway, and in a study of people over the age of 50, those who had a more positive thoughts about aging live longer. Well, I should be more positive then. They had also less stress-related inflammation, which shows one possible link between their thoughts and their health. End of quote. That point cannot be overemphasized. We all take things to calm our inflammation of our bodies, all kinds of supplements, and change our diets, and so inflammation is obviously a contributing factor to disease. Norman Vincent Peale wrote the famous book, The Power of Positive Thinking. No one needs those things in that book more than a stroke victim. And by the way, please like and subscribe to these videos. It will greatly help in my intention of spreading a message of hope to stroke survivors. Thank you very much. For instance, his rule number 1 is to create your own inner happiness, something no one can take away from you. Sometimes as a stroke survivor, you have to do that because your life is basically gone. Are you doing the exact same things as you used to? Meaning at the same level to the T? I don't think so. Faced with what you're facing, you have to make adjustments, and the more positive you are about having to make those adjustments, the better you will be off. If you expect to fail, for instance, you will fail. This was certainly true in my previous profession, former profession, one of my former, education. The phrase today, or the operative phrase, is believe in yourself, or the saying, you gotta believe. You can apply you gotta believe to stroke. Doctors say pessimism shortens your life and damages the body. That is one thing a stroke survivor of all people does not need. Remember, the stroke put you behind the other runners. It is 100-yard or 100-meter dash, and you are starting the race 100 yards or meters behind the others. That is a revelation. that will hit you at some point in your recovery. From that day forward, you will have two choices: to go forward and think positively, or think negatively and drown you in your sorrows. My video about skating addresses this. I mean, as I said in that video, I love skating. I skated at a reasonably good level, and I'll never skate again at the same level. But do I just give up and not skate anymore and take whatever pleasure I got from skating and forget about it, throw it away? I will get less, but at least I get some pleasure from it again. So that's why I started skating again, despite how ridiculous I look. Believe me, I look ridiculous. There was a movement in the human race around 1000 AD that is basically, there were people who believed the world was going to end. So they gave up further effort at living. Hey, why not? I mean, the world is going to end, right? And in other words, they stopped growing new crops. They just prepared for the coming end. How disappointed they must have been, because having stopped living, now they had to face, the reality. You are faced with a simple reality or equation. You can simply drown in the sea of misery about what was me, or the old you, and feel sorry for yourself. Be depressed. And it's sometimes a good thing in the short term. I certainly did that as a coping mechanism, because what happens to you when you have a stroke, as you know, you're not prepared for the enormity of what just happened in your life. When I say turned upside down, that I'm putting it mildly. But eventually, you can either face the reality that you want to get better, you're going to get better, at least a little better, and however miserable you are at the moment, there is a possibility of making you a little less miserable through effort. But it's so important for the effort to be able to do the things leading to recovery, to feel positive about and not negative. Again, if you stayed negative about your recovery and didn't believe it in a strong recovery, you might, on a scale of 1 to 10, recover to a 4. But if you're positive, if you positively attack your recovery and believe you will recover, damn, you may recover, maybe to an 8, 9, who knows? The sky is the limit. People play the lottery where the odds are roughly, anything from 150 million to 1, sometimes more, sometimes less, but the odds you winning the lottery are very small. I am suggesting betting on yourself. Bet on yourself. With that, I'll leave you, and until next time, my message still remains the same. Don't give in to stroke.